Hey everybody, how are you guys tonight? Oh my goodness. It is good to be here. Good to see you. And it is Thursday. Whoa. Yes. Um Ben, I cleaned the studio yesterday and it just feels really good to have some areas like that were kind of cluttered, and I just cleared things off and moved things around. And it's not it's not immaculate, it's not perfect, but it's uncluttered and feels better. And I don't have to step over things and worry about falling on my face. So let's see, how's my sound today? Oh, cough to test it out. Get that microphone over here. Yeah. Anyway, so how is everybody tonight? Goodness. Linda and Tamara are here. Small crowd tonight, but that's okay. It's fine and dandy. So, I am going to show you guys something before we get started on tonight's story. But tonight's story is kind of cool. I had a good time. I read this book and then I did a little more research about the author and the illustrator. And the author, oh man, she's done some books that hit my backyard in all kinds of places. So I've got several of them that I've checked out, and I'm going to feature for the next few days by this author. But this particular book that we're reading tonight, that I titled "Cooking Up Stories," is about somebody that it was fun to be able to stump Bob about who this person was when he really should have known about this, since he does the cooking in the family. So I was excited to do that. But before we get rocking and rolling, I'm going to take you guys on a little bit of a field trip into the room where the slugs are. And they've all been resined. They're curing. Tomorrow they go to Carolyn's. She's going to take them to Jennifer's. Jennifer may have to do a little bit of I don't think she'll have to really do too much filing around the edges. They're fine the way they are for what they've got. But I've got a camera set up on my phone with Camel, and you're probably not going to be able to hear me too much because I'm going to be shouting from the other room and the microphone may not. But I'm going to take you and show you what they all look like. And so here, I'm going to take my headphones off. And then I'm going to switch to the next scene. And now, see, there's my tape. There's what I see. And we're going to go through out of this studio. Here, you guys can hear me yelling. And I'm going to show you the slugs. I want to show you. Look at them all. Don't they look amazing? Look at them all. Oh. There's a little gnome slug. And gnomes! And a leopard. Cowboy. And so, yep. There they all are. Waiting to go. There they go. Bye. Yeah, that's me. Okay. Back here. We'll switch back and get back to the other. There. Okay. I did it. Took you on an adventure. Couldn't figure out how to get a second microphone so you could actually hear me while I'm doing that. And now I'm going to disconnect this phone from I don't need it anymore. Close Camo and close it. Oh, yeah. There we go. Close it. Off my phone so it doesn't there. What did you think? Isn't that pretty cool? Yay, got them all done. They do look awesome. Yeah, they do look awesome. They're nice and shiny. I had to trim some of the resin, because it rolled out onto the table, But that was cool. It's okay. It looked like slug slime. It was hilarious. In fact, it might be kind of a fun thing to do um, next time if I do these again ever, to have a bit of resin behind them, like slug slime. You know, if you could hang them up and so it dripped off the back, that'd be just too cool. Anyway, they're sealed. They're ready to go. I got one eye to stick on one because it has come off. So, but that is it, and then I'm done. I'm done with them. And oh, I know what I was going to do. Hang on, let me try something on this. I have to reopen that again. Camel again. Open cam. Show. Because I need to be able to use this phone, if I can, while I'm reading this story. It would make it so I could actually... Ooh, yeah, that'll work. Sort of. Sort of. I'm testing something. Yeah. Okay, that can work. Can kind of work. Yeah, so then I can look at the story when I'm reading it, and I can kind of look at you guys too at the same time. Anyway, so this next book that I'm going to read is tonight about, it's called The Fabulous Fanny Farmer. And who's here? And she basically was the person who implemented using measurements in cooking. And this is what it was so fun to stump Bob about, because he is Mr. Measurement and Mr., all this kind of stuff. And it was just fun to have and he's the cook, but, I had a little bit of information on him over this time. So, there. And I'm going to go to the part where I have here. This is what I wanted to do. So this is the author, Emma Diana Smith. And her short bio is Emma Bland Smith, not Diana. Emma Bland Smith is a librarian and an award-winning author of many books for children. Her latest include The Fabulous Fanny Farmer, Mr. McCloskey's Marvelous Mallards, How Science Saved the Eiffel Tower, and The Gardener of Alcatraz. Let me just flip this. Hey, let me just switch something here. I'm going to switch camera to the camera. There we go. Whoa, that's kind of camera B, camo, and zoom. There we go. Doesn't need to be so big. Whoa, why is that so big on me? You guys don't need to see my face that much. There. Anyway, it was a finalist for the Young Reader Medal Award in California. She lives in an old creaky house in San Francisco with her family pets and too many cookbooks and coffee mugs. She says that she was born in Scotland, grew up in San Francisco, and has lived in New York, Santa Barbara, and Paris. When she was in 4th grade, her family moved to a tiny village in the French Alps for a year, and she learned to speak French there. Now she's back home in San Francisco, living a block away from her childhood house. She went to the UC Davis, where she studied French, and after that, she earned a master's degree in French literature from UC Santa Barbara, studied abroad in Toulouse, spent a year teaching English in Paris, and worked in New York for 4 years before returning to California. So she's done a lot. Her first picture book, Journey, based on the true story of OR7, the world's most famous wolf in the West, was published by Bigfoot goes on with that. And then, and was a finalist for the Crystal Kite as well as the Washington State Book Awards. Her other books include Maddie McGuire's CEO and To Live on an Island, Gavin McNally's Year Off, The Pig War, which is the one I'm going to read to you because that happened in my backyard. How a porcine tragedy taught England and America to share. Odin, Dog Hero, and of the Fires, and Claude, the white alligator of the California Academy of Sciences. She's done a lot. Gardener of Alcatraz is her new one. It's a true story. Mr. McCloskey's Marvelous Mallards, I also have to share with you. I'm just excited to these. And The Fabulous Fanny Farmer, Kitchen Scientist and America's Cook came out in January of 2024. So this is a brand new book that I'm going to be sharing tonight. And so she has done a fair number of books, and it's just a lot of different fun things that she does. She researches her things and has a good time with it. Then Susan Reagan is the illustrator, and she has done a bunch too. I Spy My Curious Eye, Ready or Not, Here I Come. Open the book. Just about her. Illustration and the love of drawing has dominated Susan's life since she was a girl. Her illustration experience has covered a range of products and styles over the years, but her focus now is on storytelling, illustration. She loves. Her picture books include You and Me, Simon Says, Lights Out, and Revolutionary Prudence Wright, leading the Minute Women in the fight for independence. She graduated with a BFA in illustration from Columbus College of Art and Design, and she teaches illustration techniques as adjunct faculty at the Cleveland Institute of Art. So she's done a fair number of books too. Has some things in the works. Magic in a Drop of Water, Woody's Words, and she's done these picture books. But tonight I get to share with you another book. Whoa, what had happened there? We'll go back to this. A book that we have right here, The Fabulous Fanny Farmer. I'm going to push this down and push this back. So then, stop falling off of there. Is it there? Where are you going to sit? Right here? Hang on. Oh, things are falling. I got some stuff that's slipping. Hang on, you guys, while I get stuff set. Oh, come on. I thought I had my camera set so that it would do what I wanted it to. There we go. All right. Yep. This is... Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hi, Larry. Started having iron injections. Proved a little. She's not going to hold. Oh, yay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Boy, lots of things going on. Lots of things. All right, so this is The Fabulous Fanny Farmer, Kitchen Scientist, and America's Cook. It's a little bit longer book, and so it's the only one I'm going to read tonight. And she has a bonus 2 recipes inside. So when we get to that page, if you want to take a screenshot of it, do so, because, yeah, that'd be good. This goes over there. And making sure, yep, sounds good. The Fabulous Fanny Farmer, Kitchen Scientist and America's Cook by Emma Bland Smith. Pictures by Susan Reagan. In a house near Boston in the late 1800s, Fanny Farmer sat at the kitchen table, swinging her legs and peeling potatoes. Or so we can imagine. Like many girls across America, Fanny likely grew up learning to cook from her mother, making dishes that had been passed down for generations. Now, back in the old days, recipes were different from today, both in books and out of books and out loud. The instructions were often cloudier than clam chowder, and the measurements could be downright silly. A suspicion of nutmeg, sugar to your taste, as many yolks of eggs as may be necessary. yeast sufficient to make them light, a good lump of dripping or butter. If Fanny had asked, "How much salt should I put in the soup?" her mother might have answered, "Oh, a goodly amount." The reply to, "And how much butter?" might have been, "The size of a chicken's egg." "How long should I cook it?" "Why, till it's done, of course." Women weren't supposed to need exact measurements and instructions. Cooking was, well, all about feminine instincts after all. I enjoy nothing so much as cooking. Fanny became a good cook. She loved cooking, but she never thought it could be a career. She had bigger plans. She was going to attend college and probably become a teacher. But at age 16, she came down with polio and lost the use of one of her legs. For several years, she lay in bed. Forget finishing high school. Forget becoming a teacher. When she did begin to walk again, it was with a strong limp. But Fanny was determined. Eager to be active and use her brain, she started cooking in her mother's kitchen. When at the home of a neighboring family, her passion for cooking and baking rose up like a 7-layer cake. There is so much pleasure in seeing a perfect loaf of cake. As Fanny whipped and simmered, something revolutionary was cooking in her head. Fanny, you see, had the mind of a scientist. Through trial and error, she noticed that precise measurements made a whole heap of difference. Standard measuring cups and spoons had been invented, but few people thought they were necessary. I mean, who needs standard measurements when you've got your trusty feminine instincts, right? Correct measurements are absolutely necessary to ensure the best results. Fanny's family and friends urged her to enroll in the Boston Cooking School. At the age of 31, she did. Let us take a moment to be grateful. If she hadn't enrolled, we might still be tossing in carefree pinches of baking powder and crossing our fingers that our Boston cream pie wouldn't come out flat as a pancake. Fanny was a top-notch student. After she graduated, she was invited to stay on, first as an assistant, then as the principal. Fanny was going to teach. Cookery becomes an art rather than mere drudgery in the hands of the interested housekeeper. Most people back then looked down on home cooking, generally the only kind women did. Restaurant cooking was considered very important and only for men. But Fanny thought cooking for a family was serious business. It involved planning and budgeting, health and nutrition, and it deserved more than terms like a goodly amount and the size of an egg. Because honestly, how else could you ensure a recipe would come out the same each time? Fanny taught her students to be precise and thoughtful. Like kitchen scientists, she taught them to level off the sugar rather than heaping it, that adding sugar to yeast would hasten fermentation, to roll the pastry away from them to prevent breaking air bubbles, that the acid in tomatoes tenderized the meat, to keep the fat at a consistent temperature while frying. A pharmacist wouldn't just toss in ingredients haphazardly and hope for the best. So why should a cook? Women loved Fanny's can-do attitude. They practiced her classes The cooking school did so well. Oh, they packed her classes, sorry. The cooking school did so well, new teachers were hired. And Fanny made sure each one of them shared her enthusiasm and belief in science. But there was one more thing Fanny just had to do. It says, quote, "Our instructors love their work and go into it with the same enthusiasm as if it was music or art." One more thing she had to do. The school cookbook was written in the old, murky way. Fanny decided to rewrite it. She obsessively tested every recipe. Her students helped too, and the school's kitchen became a chemistry lab. Her recipes instructed readers how to do the most basic actions, even stirring. To stir, mix by using circular motion, widening the circle until all is blended. Fanny wanted to make sure that anyone could master cooking. You didn't need luck, you didn't need expensive classes, and you certainly didn't need magical feminine instincts. Normally, confident, Fanny worried. Would people really like her book? The publishers she approached had doubts. They could publish the book, but they didn't want to pay for the printing. Fanny would have to cover that herself. Did Fanny slink home in embarrassment? I think you know the answer. At the earnest solicitation of educators, pupils, and friends, I have been urged to prepare this book, and I trust it may be a help to many who need its aid. The Boston Cooking School Cookbook by Fanny Merritt Farmer. Fanny agreed to pay if she could get most of the profits. Her business savvy was as sharp as a carving knife. "Fine," said the publisher, who didn't think the book would make much money anyway. Well, Fanny's strategy was a recipe for success. Her book was a hit, not just with the students, but with home cooks all over the country. People liked that with Fanny at their side, they could make impeccable popovers and melt-in-your-mouth angel food cake. No guessing. No luck required. Here's that page with the recipes for Fanny's recipes adapted for the modern chef. Popovers. Fanny's recipes adapted for the modern chef. Popovers and angel food cake. So if you want a screenshot of this, folks, grab it now. It's quite the details. I love that she taught people how to stir in that and in those basic things. That's what my mom used to do when she taught cooking in 4-H. I'm sure she probably used Fanny Farmer's techniques. Okay, I'm going to move on because I'm hoping you got your screenshot. Everyone loved Fanny's book, but this revolutionary lady wasn't yet ready to set down her measuring spoons. She started her own cooking school, lectured all over the country, and even taught at Harvard Medical School. Fanny kept on cooking for the rest of her life, and those of us who appreciate a perfect pie or delectable donut salute her, our mouths and tummies full. Miss Farmer's School of Cookery, 30 Huntington Avenue, Boston, Massachusetts, summer course. Thank you, Fanny. Pare, core, and cut apples in eighths. Mix sugar, nutmeg, salt, lemon juice, and grated rind. Work toward the center until the plate is covered. Must be for an apple pie. I think, I think my sister Patty had that hairdo one time. I have a picture, the one with in there with the spotted dress and the bow and that hair. Yeah, that's Patty. I remember when she was living in West Seattle. Yep, just after she got married and Ken was in Vietnam. That's exactly. Look at those. Anyway, here it says a note about research fiction and nonfiction. So says the author. Because Fanny Farmer grew up so long ago, and because she wasn't famous as a child or a young woman, there is almost no recorded information about her early years. We know when and where she was born, we know some basic facts about her parents and siblings, and very occasionally in her columns, Fanny dropped an anecdote about her childhood or personal life. In order to bring Fanny to life, I imagined certain scenes, but in the text, I make clear that these are indeed imagined and not based on fact. For example, we don't know for sure that Fanny helped her mother peel potatoes, although it's very likely. So I add the line, or so we can imagine. Being clear about distinction between facts and imagined scenes, between fiction and nonfiction, is crucial. I love that about this author, that she points that out, that is one of the things that she did. Fanny's legacy. Like many people, I have my own well-worn copy of Fanny Farmer's cookbook. Mine was gifted to me by my grandmother when I was 24 years old and just beginning to cook seriously. My copy is old. It was published in 1944. But that is young by the standards of this remarkable book. Still in print after well over a century, Fanny's cookbook has sold more than 7 million copies. What makes it so popular? Some might think Fanny Farmer was an advertising invention, a fake, a figurehead, such as the completely invented Betty Crocker, but Fanny was a real person, and the story behind her cookbook is a fascinating and inspiring one. The first Fanny Farmer cookbook from 1896 was actually titled the Boston Cooking School Cookbook. It was an update of an existing book written by the school's previous director, Mary Lincoln. It became an immediate success. In 1896, there were few published cookbooks and even fewer with the appeal of Fanny's. Fanny revolutionized home cooking by bringing straightforward, comprehensive instructions and cutting-edge scientific strategies to the field. She helped make excellent home cooking accessible to everyone. It says that Fanny is at center with the glasses in the book, in this picture. So there's the girl sitting next to the one in the 1900, and right behind her, there's Fanny with the glasses on in the second row back. Fanny was she cooking school graduating class of 1900. She was a energetic, enthusiastic teacher, much like and respected by students and colleagues alike. Let's see. She redid the book before she was graduated. Wow, that's amazing. Let's see. Today we still use the measurements Fanny pioneered: standard measuring cups, tablespoons, and teaspoons. Fanny specified exactly how big or how small to chop vegetables, and occasionally went so far as to specify how many grains of spices to use in a dish. Wow. She explained in a matter-of-fact style why ingredients reacted in certain ways and how to manipulate them to get the desired result. Her ultimate goal was to give women the confidence to produce a delicious, attractive meal without relying on luck or guesswork. Fanny was known for testing recipes as many times as necessary to get every aspect perfect. Even after her students produced a perfect dish, she would ask, could it be bettered? If she heard about an amazing new meal at a restaurant, she would rush out and sample it, and sometimes sneak a bit home in order to further analyze the flavors. She really was something of a kitchen scientist. One writer referred to her ability to Sherlock Holmes a chef's dish to deduce the methods and ingredients. Goes on to talk about how she was precise and inventive and practical. as when she instructed readers to use baking powder boxes as molds to create uniform sandwiches. um, it says they are sometimes Fanny's physical condition. She was a student at Medford High School. She tried to get out of bed one morning, but instead fell on the floor. One of her legs were paralyzed, and the doctors at the time called it infantile paralysis or a ruptured blood vessel. But today, we believe she had polio. She spent months unable to walk and stayed in her bed or wheelchair for several years. She eventually did learn to walk again, although with a limp, and was a highly energetic and active person for the rest of her life. In her 50s, her health declined, and for her last few years, she taught and lectured from a wheelchair. She died at the age of 56, and she, like on January 15th of, I can't remember what year now, but, and she lectured 10 days before her death. The mother of measurement. She says, Fanny is sometimes credited with inventing standardized measuring cups, such as the cup and teaspoon, but in fact, the idea for the book came to me when her own daughter dressed up as Fanny Farmer for a fourth grade unit on inventors. In reality, she did not invent them, but she did use her position as an influential cooking figure to aggressively promote them. Yeah, so the birth of the modern American recipe, she's credited for that. Before Fanny Farmer's time, most recipes were written in a narrative format with no particular structure. They included stories and chatty comments and were hard to follow and read. Fanny, on the other hand, insisted on using very specific format for her recipes. My mom was like that too. You had to do a certain format. I can always know exactly which ones were mom's recipes. And it says, when Fanny wrote her cookbook, the world was in the throes of an industrial revolution. An emerging interest in science and technology was changing the cultural landscape that set the scene for the success of her methods. New instruments like standardized measuring tools and ovens with temperature gauges allowed for precision in the kitchen. People were ready for a new kind of cooking, and that had science behind it. So it says there were other factors too. One of the new mobility of the American population. For centuries, women had grown up learning to cook from their mothers and grandmothers. Now it was common for young adults to leave their hometowns and settle away, so they had to find a new way to learn to cook. In addition, immigrants were arriving in large numbers in the young country. They too lacked a family close at hand to learn from. Many of these young women turned to cookbooks to master the art of cooking for their families. And it says that her different books, 1896, The Boston Cooking School Cookbook, and 1898, Chafing Dish Possibilities, 1904, Food and Cookery for the Sick and Convalescents, 1905, What to Have for Dinner, containing menus with recipes for their preparations, 1911, Catering for Special Occasions with menus and recipes, and 1912, A New Book of Cookery, 860 recipes covering the whole range of cookery. My gosh. And she was born in 1857, and she died in 1915 at the age of 57. And that's the story of the fabulous Fanny Farmer. Oh my goodness. Yeah, quite. It's funny because I'm sure that my mom had that and knew of her probably because, and I somehow remember mom when she taught cooking and sewing in 4-H for like 5 years. It was for Sarah's age group from the time Sarah was 9 till she was through 14, and I was the tag along, so I was 5. It was my age 5 to 10, and so all the baking and stuff and all the things were very precise about how to measure and all those kind of things. So I've always I can cook, I just don't enjoy it like Bob does. So of course I'm going to let him do the things he enjoys the most. I've had to do a fair amount. This brought back memories. Good, Tamara. Yeah, it did. All those ways. I still remember mom teaching us about what was the difference between stirring and blending and mixing all those different kind of things and what you did. And like Bob just figured out on his bread, he makes bread a couple times a week, and it wasn't, or once a week or so, and it wasn't rising right. And he finally figured out if he did the whapping it, pick it up and throw it basically, whatever that did, whatever that science did with the gluten and what it does and impacts it, it made all the difference. And now it's back to rising and doing what it was supposed to do because he lost, I don't know. Yeah. I used to, but cooking is one, for one is boring. Yeah. I can see that. So they no longer import Krabbies. So this is a ginger beer, but it is not. It is a non-alcoholic one. It's the Cock and Bull, and it's the closest thing I have to the taste of the Krabbies. It's just but it's a little sweet for me. But that's what you see me here. I miss my Krabbies, but that's okay. Anyway, so I have some other books this week by Emma Bland Smith that I'm going to read on Sunday. I have the book about the pig war that she did, which for those of us here in the Northwest, Larry and Angie will appreciate it, and Helen around, took place on San Juan Island in our wonderful Northwest here. And if I dig around, I might even be able to find my pictures from American camp and English camp and all around the island. And where it all happened to show you guys those things too. But I'm going to read that, and I'm going to see what else. I have the McCloskey one too checked out. Let me see. Come on, close. Come on, Libby, close. There we go, back. I have her book, Mr. McCloskey's Marvelous Mallards, which would be fun, about Robert McCloskey, who wrote Make Way for Ducklings. And then I've got the one on the pig war. I don't think I've got the one about the gardener of Alcatraz yet. But I found some other cool books. About cool people, different people. And yeah. Ooh, Plate of Hope. Anyway, so that's it for tonight. I know it's a shorter time on story tonight. We have kombucha, ginger drink, and sugar. I know, no Krabbies. With there was some kind of a shipping thing going on because it comes from Scotland. So, yeah. You would like Bob's fresh bread, Larry. You really would. Anyway, so I think that's going to be it for tonight. Let me just check something here. Read with. Oh, yeah. It's food. Yep. So thank you. I'm so glad that the slugs are done. They're going to my niece tomorrow. I'm going to drive them to Carolyn's, get them all boxed up. Larry, thank you so much for the tip about using the silicone mat because that worked perfectly. I got my Lowly Buffy coat out there and did that, and got them trimmed up. They're pretty much so. It's been about not quite 72 hours. By tomorrow, by the time they get to Jennifer's, it'll be 72 hours that they've cured easily. And if she needs to do any polishing on the edges, but I think they'll be just fine. And then that's about it on the slugs. And on to the next thing. I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't have slugs to paint, because those were just too much fun. And have to come up with something else I can make out of that clay. and paint them like that. We have to come up with something like that for the art walk. Coming up, by the way, are any of you guys applying to any art shows? I got into the Gig Harbor art show, which it's already past its time, but Larry and Angie, our art walk out here in Key Center is on the first Friday of August, which is like August 2nd. It only goes from like 4 to 8 in the afternoon, and a booth is only $30. And we get tons of people. So you guys could really, you could get a booth. It would be great to have you come out and show your stuff. Let me know if you want the application. And it's not a juried or anything like that. It just it can't be. It's art, arts and handmade things type of. It's not pre-made stuff resell. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, you guys, let's see. No crabbies. Great evening and a wonderful. Thank you. Yay. Yeah. Yes, you are. This is the Key Center Art Walk is, and I'm doing one this coming on the 6th at the Long Branch Improvement Club. It's the super sale. They're having a super sale. Like literally, I got a table outside for $15, and it's not even. I don't even need a table. I just need to pull up in my van with stuff and put the awning out, and it's kind of like sell whatever. It's like overstock kind of things, and people sell all kind of stuff. It's like a giant kind of flea market sort of sale out here. Anyway, but you could easily, your stuff would go great out here, Larry, and I would love to have you guys join us. It's really low key, and the people are all wonderful, and you just have a great old time there's music playing and yeah, all the time. Anyway, you guys, that's it for tonight on Stories. I will be back on Sunday with more stories and hopefully some art of yours to share. And until then, have a wonderful rest of your week and keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. And the first place you'll find it is when you go look in the mirror. Have a great week, bucket fillers. Thanks for filling my bucket. And I'll see you Sunday.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous, we could be famous. You blow my mind, looking like a model, better than the usual. Yeah, you don't even try, not average or typical. I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool,